Today, we're diving into the life of one of America's most beloved presidents, Abraham Lincoln. His story is one of perseverance, leadership, and a profound commitment to justice and equality. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in a log cabin in Hardin County, Kentucky, which is now LaRue County. His parents, Thomas and Nancy Lincoln, were humble farmers. Life was tough, and young Abe had to help with the daily chores on their small farm. When Lincoln was just 9 years old, his mother, Nancy, died of a disease called milk sickness. Her death deeply affected him, but it also instilled in him a sense of resilience and determination. His father remarried a woman named Sarah Bush Johnston, who brought stability and affection into the Lincoln household. Despite the challenges of frontier life, Lincoln had an insatiable thirst for knowledge. He had very little formal education, attending school for less than a year in total. However, Lincoln was a voracious reader. He borrowed books from neighbors and read everything he could get his hands on, from the Bible to Shakespeare. In 1830, Lincoln's family moved to Illinois. Abe struck out on his own, taking on various jobs to support himself. He worked as a rail splitter, a boatman, and even a shopkeeper. Eventually, he settled in the small town of New Salem, where he became known for his honesty, hard work, and good humor. It was in New Salem that Lincoln's political career began to take shape. He joined the local debating society, where he honed his speaking skills. In 1832, he ran for the Illinois General Assembly but was defeated. Undeterred, he tried again in 1834 and won a seat as a member of the Whig Party. While serving in the legislature, Lincoln began studying law on his own. He passed the bar exam in 1836 and started practicing law in Springfield, Illinois. As a lawyer, he became known for his sharp intellect and compelling arguments. His legal career also helped him build a network of influential friends and supporters. In 1842, Lincoln married Mary Todd, a well-educated woman from a prominent Kentucky family. Together, they had 4 sons, though only one, Robert, survived to adulthood. Lincoln's political career continued to flourish. In 1846, he was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. During his time in Congress, he spoke out against the Mexican-American War and the expansion of slavery into new territories. His stance on these issues made him unpopular with some, but it also earned him a reputation as a principled and courageous leader. After serving a single term in Congress, Lincoln returned to Illinois and resumed his law practice. However, the issue of slavery continued to trouble him deeply. The passage of the Kansas-Nebraska Act in 1854, which allowed new territories to decide for themselves whether to allow slavery, spurred Lincoln back into politics. In 1858, Lincoln ran for the U.S. Senate against Stephen A. Douglas, a prominent Democrat. The two engaged in a series of debates that captured the nation's attention. Lincoln argued passionately against the spread of slavery, while Douglas defended popular sovereignty, the idea that territories should decide the issue for themselves. Though Lincoln lost the Senate race, his eloquence and moral clarity during the debates propelled him to national prominence. He became a leading figure in the newly formed Republican Party, which opposed the expansion of slavery. In 1860, Lincoln was nominated as the Republican candidate for president. The country was deeply divided over the issue of slavery, and the election was hotly contested. Lincoln won with a significant majority of electoral votes, but he received less than 40% of the popular vote, reflecting the deep divisions within the country. Lincoln's election was the final straw for many Southern states. South Carolina seceded from the Union in December 1860, followed by several other states. They formed the Confederate States of America, with Jefferson Davis as their president. Lincoln faced the greatest crisis in American history. He was determined to preserve the Union at all costs. The Civil War began in April 1861 when Confederate forces fired on Fort Sumter in South Carolina. The war would last 4 long and brutal years, with enormous loss of life on both sides. As a wartime leader, Lincoln faced immense challenges. He had to manage military strategies, deal with political opposition, and address the moral issue of slavery. One of his most significant actions was issuing the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, which declared that all slaves in Confederate-held territory were free. This was a turning point in the war, as it gave the Union a moral cause to fight for and discouraged foreign powers from supporting the Confederacy. Lincoln also delivered some of the most memorable speeches in American history. In his Gettysburg Address, delivered in November 1863, he honored the fallen soldiers and reaffirmed the principles of liberty and equality. In 1864, Lincoln faced re-election. The war was still raging, and his chances of winning seemed uncertain. However, Union victories on the battlefield boosted his popularity, and he won a second term. He continued to push for the abolition of slavery, leading to the passage of the 13th Amendment in January 1865, which permanently abolished slavery in the United States. The Civil War finally ended in April 1865, when Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered to Union General Ulysses South Grant at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. The nation was weary and battered, but Lincoln's vision of a united country had prevailed. Tragically, Lincoln did not live to see the full fruits of his efforts. On April 14, 1865, just days after the war ended, he was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth, a Confederate sympathizer, while attending a play at Ford's Theater in Washington. Lincoln died the following morning, plunging the nation into deep mourning. Abraham Lincoln's legacy endures to this day. He is remembered as the great emancipator, a leader who guided the nation through its darkest hours and helped to redefine the meaning of freedom and equality in America. His life story is a testament to the power of perseverance, integrity, and a steadfast commitment to doing what is right. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of Abraham Lincoln. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel, History Book, for more stories about remarkable individuals who shaped our world.